Hey, did you know that you could single-handedly help this channel grow by clicking the like button down here on the left? And if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe here on the right. Share the video with friends and family, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get notified when we do new videos or live streams. Thanks! What is going on, J. Crew? Hello, 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 hello. Before we get started with anything, if you are in here, please smash that like button and subscribe if you are not subscribed as of yet. Okay, 25 days, and I'm happy to say my mic is not muted today. Okay? I'm blind. What do you want? No, I'm not claiming that. But 25 days of fasting. So how I came up with this is the fact that back in 2018, right? Was it 19? No, it was 19. 2019. I decided I wanted to try to do 90 days of fasting. And the reason why I wanted to do that was an extreme effort to try to cure my vision issues, right? Because, I'm a completely holistic. I don't go to hospitals and doctors unless my leg's broken. What's that movie, Primal Fear? And ain't nobody go here, Dr. Crickside, unless your leg's broke. That's kind of the philosophy I go by. If it's just something that I just cannot get by, okay, a hospital or a doctor may see me. But other than that, if I can't handle it from right here, then, it's got to be something that is beyond the scope of the human body being able to do it on its own. And that ain't much. Trust and believe that. Okay, so one of the best ways, and I'm going to put a link to a video in here because my stream got shut down Friday because I went nuts looking at, different videos of Wim Hof, the breathing guy, right? The Iceman, the guru. And so that's a no-no. But I'm going to put a link in the comment section to the video that inspired me to look into fasting. And it's by a doctor named Dr. Jason Fung. Actually, the video itself is hosted by Dr. Mercola, and he interviews Jason Fung. And Jason Fung wrote a book back in 2017. It may have been, but at least that's when I found out about it. But it was right around then when he wrote it. It may have been the year before. But The Complete Guide to Fasting, he wrote. And before that, he had written The Obesity Code. And he's a nephrologist. He's a kidney specialist. And he would talk about how he was treating all of these people with type 2 diabetes and how he was getting frustrated because they weren't healing. They weren't getting better. In fact, they were getting worse. And he's like, damn, I'm a doctor. The reason I signed up was not to just keep prescribing medicine and treating symptoms and issues. I became a doctor because I wanted to make people better. I wanted to heal people or help heal them anyway. And you'll find there are a lot of doctors like that. Yeah, I don't have nothing against doctors. I don't have anything against hospitals. For me, I just believe in holistic healing. It's the way things were done back in the day. And I just, have a lot of faith in the ability of the human body to heal itself because I've lived through things like that. So, Dr. Jason Fung, Dr. Mercola interviews Jason Fung. And Jason Fung starts, he talks about the benefits of fasting. And, I brought up fasting on Meatless Monday. Shout out to my baby Vegan Knowledge, by the way. And I didn't get a chance to put some of these links in the stream yet. I'll do that as soon as this is over with. But I'm going to have a link to Vegan Knowledge's channel. Watch us on Meatless Mondays. We give all kinds of tips on how to transition into a plant-based diet and even go full vegan if that's what you want to do. But Dr. Jason, I remember when I first started talking about this, she's like, fasting, huh? Okay. You're going to try that? And I'm like, yeah, I really think that is something that I want to do. And I'll never forget, it was Thanksgiving of 2017. And I remember I had just started drinking moringa at that time. Right before Thanksgiving, I had seen a video with Dr. Sebi, and he had talked about helping a man cure these vision issues. And one of the things that he used was organic moringa. So I thought, okay, write that down. And Jen, let's get some moringa. Anytime we hear about an herbal, holistic cure, something that's all natural, we're all in, and we try it. So I tried moringa, and maybe a year in, year and a half in, Jen started drinking it as well. And let me tell you, we have not been sick in the 5 years since we've been taking it. Now I know it boosts immune system. It's anti-aging. It's got a lot of antioxidants. Um, it's got almost every vitamin and mineral you can name under the sun. And it's something that, if you start to, we drink 2 teaspoons in a bottle of water every morning. I call it the breakfast of champions. Check me out over on TikTok, J and J Video Reacts, same as this channel. Check me out over on TikTok. I did a whole video on it where I, made it one morning and drank it. But I figured, if I'm drinking moringa, which makes this not a true fast, because you're not supposed to have any calories, any protein. It's even got protein. None of that. You're not supposed to be having any of that. If you're doing a true water fast, would be like they do in Ramadan. Either you're dry fasting, which means you are having nothing. I'm not about to dehydrate myself. Or you're just drinking water only. That's a true fast. But there was a guy back in the day that was over 400 pounds. And he was diagnosed with all kinds of issues and was told that he didn't have much longer to live if he didn't do something drastic to lose weight, or if he didn't lose weight. They didn't say do something drastic. They said if you don't lose weight, you're gonna die. Everybody is anyway, but yeah, you gotta drop this weight. So this guy, under the supervision of doctors, decided to fast. Believe it or not, and what is his name? Barberi. Augusta August Barberi. Look it up. I'll put a link to the video that I saw on him in this as well. Because I know a lot of you are going to think I'm crazy. Well, if you think 25 days is crazy, this guy, and it's not as crazy as this was back when I originally did it, because I did this before. So, and it was kind of the new thing then. So people, oh my God, how you doing now? Everybody's doing it. But August Barberi fasted for 300 and I can't, 82 days, I want to say. Over a year is the point. He had no food. All he had was vitamin supplements. He drank black coffee and water. So, yeah, a year he fasted. And people are like, well, you sure you should be doing that? Or is that dangerous? And it's probably one of the safest things you could do for your body. Now, there are stipulations, and I do have to put the disclosure out that I am not a healthcare professional. I'm speaking from personal experience, and I'm doing this for me personally. Don't try this at home if you don't know what the hell you're doing. Okay. Because fasting is not for the faint of heart. Fasting is not for punks. Okay, for the lack of a better way to say that, fasting ain't for punks. It takes a lot of mental discipline, and that is also one of the reasons that I'm doing this. Okay, it takes a lot of discipline to go for days and days and days, hours, let alone days, and not eat anything. But back in 2017, after watching this video of this interview with Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung, I was inspired. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try that. Let's see what happens. And I had never, back in the day when I was in my early 20s, I did this, but I did it by accident. I was into working out, and I was about 180 some odd pounds or something like that. I was trying to lose some weight. And I got down in the 140s. And I did that by fasting. I was working at corporate America and decided one day that I was just going to drink coffee. I wasn't going to eat any food. I was going to drink coffee, and because I loved coffee. And I'm like, okay, caffeine, I would drink it all day long. And I love coffee. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just drink coffee. I'm not going to eat any food because coffee keeps me going, right? Coffee keeps me going. And I figured why not? Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and use coffee and just do that and be okay with it. And I remember who I was dating at the time thought I was absolutely not. Yeah, you better eat something. You all right? It's been about 3 or 4 days and you haven't eaten any food. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Actually, I feel pretty good. And I was just drinking coffee, wasn't black coffee. I put cream and sugar in it. But I realized in retrospect, I did what at August Barberi did. Angus Barberi. I knew August didn't feel right. Angus Barberi, like he's named after a steak, right? Angus Barberi is his name. And I knew in retrospect, I did what he did. I fasted with coffee and I was fine. I didn't drop out. I would go to the gym and work out, and I was dropping weight rather rapidly. And I remember a lot of it was Bally's then. No, it was Holiday Spa at the time at Golden Ring Mall in Baltimore. And I remember them, they saw me when I first came in. We signed up, she and I together with the membership. And it was like, after a while, she wasn't going as much. Well, she didn't have to. She was like skinny, right? But I was going and then I stopped going for a while and then I got into it. I saw I was losing weight. So then I'm like, yeah, I want to work out too. Let's make it even better. Let's lose weight even faster. And I had gotten up to like an hour on the bike. And I was just doing the stationary bike and the circuit weights. And I remember one of the girls walking up to me when I was on the bike. I'm getting it. She's like, I have to say, I'm impressed. You look really good. Like you have lost a lot of weight. Like most people come in here and get these memberships. We're lucky if we see them after a couple of weeks. But you have stuck to it and you have really come down. Like you look like almost a completely different person. So, good job. That good job for being determined and actually doing it. And I didn't have a personal trainer or anything. That's a thanks, and I felt good. And I remember what stopped me from doing it because I wasn't supervised, obviously, and now I'm much more knowledgeable about the process. But I realized that, and I was smoking weed at the time, right? I went out with a couple of friends after work, and I started, I had a couple of puffs, and all of a sudden my heart started racing out of control. It was the very first panic attack I ever had. I'll never forget it. I had them rush me to the hospital. I had them not calling in, but let's get in the car, let's go. I feel like I'm having a heart attack. And technically, a heart attack is when your heart stops, it's not rushing. But it's not a good thing to have your heart racing and you can't seem to calm yourself down. And all of a sudden, these fears started creeping in, fearful thoughts started creeping in, creating a feeling, an overwhelming feeling of fear, which is what a panic attack is. You start having these thoughts, and next thing you know, you're spiraling out of control, and this attack just races towards you. And your heart is beating out of control. You don't know what you're doing. You can't think straight. And you can legit cause yourself to have like a serious panic attack, which can mimic a heart attack. So we get to the hospital, and basically, I was so high. All I had to do was sleep it off, was what happened. But they dropped me off and they rolled out because they were doing other things and they didn't want to get I'm like thinking, yeah, we were doing drugs. Yeah, I'm running my mouth because I'm scared. I'm like, save me, shit. I'm gonna tell them. You know, and I'm like, I think they might have been doing some coke or something. I'm like, was there any coke in that blunt? Like, because I don't do that. I don't fuck around with that. Just give me a little bit of weed and I'm good. I don't do that. And they're like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't laced or anything. So I'm like, well, what is going on? Why? And I'm trying to calm down. And I'm like, okay, I grab my friend Kim and I'm like, this is just a coworker. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but my heart is beating. I was out of breath. I'm like, I can't. I'm scared. Can you guys take me to the? Can you run me to the hospital? Because I don't know I don't want to like drop dead in here. So she took me, and they told me there was nothing wrong. You just hyperventilated, and basically, it was all in your head. You're fine. Your heart just started racing. That's all. And I have a heart murmur. So I started thinking about all of that. And a lot of people are able to live with it. I have lived with it. I was born with it. And I've never had an issue with it. I said that on the stream before. I've run marathons and things like that. And yeah, so I work out now still to this day. So I'm like, what the hell happened? So that was my first panic attack. But it came from me not knowing what the hell I was doing with the fasting, um, and just going for days on end. And what was happening was the caffeine mixed with me. And see, what I did, I didn't do what Angus Barberi did. He had coffee, but he didn't sit there and drink it freaking nonstop because you would have thought I was putting it intravenously. When one cup was gone, I went and got another one. And I was putting a ton of sugar and cream in it. So what I was doing wrong was I was drinking this high octane coffee constantly all day. He didn't do that. He would have a cup of coffee here and there when he would feel some hunger pains. Okay, because it's an appetite suppressant as well as a diuretic. So he was probably taking a lot of shits too. He was probably doing a lot of eliminating, um, which also helped him lose weight. And he was drinking a ton of water. So he did it in a healthy way, and he didn't put a bunch of cream and sugar in it. He drank it black. They say when you're fasting, black coffee, even though you got some calories there, is good to have because it's an appetite suppressant and it helps get you through the fasting. So I don't drink coffee anymore. And that did not stop me from drinking coffee, actually. It did stop me, however, from fasting. And I never did it again. I never did that again. And then I remember seeing this video on Fung many, many moons later, 5 years ago now. And I thought, well, maybe that's what was I shouldn't have been doing that. So I think I'll give it another go because I remember losing a lot of weight doing that. And I felt really energetic. And after prolonged with the high octane coffee, that's when the heart race thing happened. So I said, okay, if I don't do that, maybe I'll be okay. So I went for 20 days. I wanted to do 90 days and I didn't go 90, but I did oh, no. The very first time, this was right after Thanksgiving. I had just watched the video on the way to the family for Thanksgiving. I watched this video and I showed Jen. I'm like, look at this. This is great. I think I'm gonna try this right after Thanksgiving. So I'm a gorge and have a ball, and then I'll probably eat some less leftovers for a day or two, and then I'm going to try this. And this was Thursday, Thanksgiving. So I said Monday I was gonna start, and I did. I lasted 14 days, 2 full weeks. And I remember one day, like right now, my stomach's growling. So here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna drink some. We're not drinking coffee. We're gonna drink some water. Because I failed the other day. This is day one. Okay. I'm doing 25 days straight. I'm going to surpass my record. I did 14 days that first time, starting with that Monday right after Thanksgiving. And, the funny thing is, when I did break the fast, it wasn't because I was hungry. It was because I was in my head. I was in my head saying, you know what? And remember what happened years ago. You should probably eat something. You don't want the heart race thing happening, because I didn't put two and two together that it was because I was drinking all this sugar filled coffee and drinking it nonstop all day. You know, um, I didn't put two and two together at that point. So I got through the 14 weeks with no problem, and I could have gone longer. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and have some wonton soup. At the time, Jen and I weren't vegans or vegetarians at that time. So I had some wonton soup, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to eat. After about 3 days, wasn't even hungry. That's how I was able to go 2 full weeks. The ghrelin, the hormone that is the hunger hormone, it is suppressed once you go a good, 72 hours, you don't even get hungry. So I'm like, okay, yeah, a weekend. I'm like, I'm not even hungry. And I had so much energy. So I went 14 days and I decided, we were delivering food, and that's when we were running our business. And I'm smelling this food. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. Because when I was determined, I don't care what I was smelling. My pizza, I love pizza. I was determined. I was committed. When you commit to something, it gives you the will to stick it out. And will is another thing that's going to happen by me doing this. It's going to strengthen my will, to be able to do other things that I want to do. It spills over into other things in your life. Fasting to me is like a training ground. Fasting is like a training ground, because if you want to accomplish something or get something done, it's a good way to train your mind to focus. Okay? It's a good way to train your mind to focus. And not to mention, you have extremely clear cognitive ability when you're in a fasted state. Shout out to Vegan Knowledge JJ. How are you, love? She said, I think it's important to take different parts of what everyone says with an open mind and do what's right for our body. And everybody's body is different. So just because I'm doing this doesn't necessarily, even though Fung says pretty much any and everyone can do it, even people with diabetes. He put people that had diabetes, type 2, on this on this fasting regimen, and got them off of all their medications. Tons of them. Okay. Reversed their diabetes. Yes, he did. It is known to cure neuropathy. It is known to help aid in curing cancer. It is known to reverse heart disease, which is like the number one killer. It is known to reverse hypertension, high blood pressure. You can come off of all of that with a good fasting regimen. Because what happens is, and Fung explains everything in the video that I'm going to link to this one, that your body was naturally meant to heal itself. And back in the days of cavemen, they went days on end without eating, but they had the energy. Our bodies were not made to constantly eat all day long. That 3 meal a day thing, yeah, that is a myth. You do not need 3 squares a day. In fact, if you have 1 meal a day, your body runs way more efficiently. One nice hefty meal, and preferably a vegan meal, because you really shouldn't be eating meat and dairy as well. So, because everybody, the whole phrase lactose intolerant is like null and void. Everybody is lactose intolerant. The human body was not meant to ingest and digest cow's milk. It's meant for a baby cow. And I'm getting off on vegan knowledge's territory, but we are doing that together. I believe in what she's doing, and I'm living it. So I have noticed extremely wonderful health benefits from getting off of meat and dairy. It has not cured my vision yet. Notice I say yet, because I did not commit all the way. Remember, I said up until a couple months ago, I was still eating pizza a couple times a week, regular pizza, not vegan pizza. So I still had plenty of dairy in my system because, dude, I could take a whole 16-inch out solo. Okay. I don't around when it comes to pizza. I can eat some pizza. So I was doing that a couple times a week. I'd start at lunch and eat a couple slices, then a couple hours later, I have another couple, and by the end of the day, I'd have that whole pizza gone. So yeah, I was still consuming dairy. So that is one of the reasons why I'm trying to get you in, Jen. That is one of the reasons why I am doing this, because I have not given it a full 100% effort with no dairy whatsoever. Remember, I said I just had the Cheetos the other day, even powdered cheese, that's still cheese. And I had those ho-hos or the Swiss rolls. They've got dairy in them. So even up as late as a couple of days ago, I have ingested some dairy. And I have not had the will that I had back in 2017 to go 20 days. I've been trying, but I haven't done it. So I'm determined. I'm going to start right here with you guys. We're going to go 25 days. That's going to take me up to November 19th, and I'm going to start the refeeding process a few days before Thanksgiving, because we're going to have a vegan Thanksgiving, and I want to share that time with my honey, and I want to eat, So, but you don't just come out of 25 days of fasting and just start gorging. You don't do that. You can really mess your body up by doing that. I have learned a lot about fasting in the time that I've done it. Hey, honey.
Hey there, can you hear me?
I can.
I fixed the sound, so we'll be good for now on. I don't know. I don't
Yes.
know how I did it. I'm just gonna tell you I clicked the link and I could hear everything all of a sudden on the computer, not on the phone. So hopefully I'm not breaking
Wow.
up, right?
No, you're not bringing up.
Perfect. I was so tired of hearing the streams. That's why I didn't even come on yesterday because it was like, and everybody's face on the live streams would be like, yeah, like we have no idea what you said, but I'm sure it was very valuable. But I came on because I was looking up fasting to do like hashtags to
Yeah.
post your video. And I
Hmm.
came across from 2019 all of your Facebook posts. Day one, you
Wow.
had
I
this
did it on
little
Facebook, guys. Yeah.
notebook, right?
Every
That
day I was going on there talking about my journey. Yeah, go ahead.
she would rip the page out of the little book she had, like it was a binder, remember that kind of,
Yeah.
and you might still have it, but she would rip out, she started with 40 or 20 or whatever it was, rip it out, and there was all these pictures and all these videos, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. And like I feel like, the fact that you did it before means obviously that you can do it again, but I think it's a really cool journey. I wanted to say one thing too, about
I
your
can do it. I can do it digitally now.
what you were talking about earlier about that we're not supposed to eat 3 meals a day. Well, I
Yeah.
read I don't know the full story to go over. Forgive me for not having the link. I'll find it so you can have it. But that was actually done as a marketing ploy for different companies to be able to sell different meals for parts of the day. If you think about it, when people, like you said, well, all the way back to the caveman, you didn't have food readily available. There wasn't a grocery store you could walk in. You went out literally foraging for food all day. So you were getting exercise. You gathered
Right.
up enough food
Fun
and you
goes over that.
rationed it,
Yeah.
or if farmers would work all day on the farm and they would have that one meal at night, as the sun went down because they're harvesting everything all day. Certain times of the year, they would even go longer. And
Yeah.
the whole 3 meal a day thing came because, like, probably these cereal companies wanted to sell meals in the morning. They wanted the
They wanted to
restaurants
sell that
wanted to
box of
sell three
Captain
meals a
Crunch.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's definitely not. And you've mentioned this before. I don't know if you went over it yet. The healing process, when we don't feel well, our first instinct is not, I need a big meal. We naturally, and even animals, know to fast when they don't feel well. So there is something very good to our body needs time to regenerate and not work on the food. So I'm totally with you on the fasting. I can't do 20 days. I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just because I love like I do my intermittent fast, which I
You
do fast.
shouldn't. Anybody under a certain weight should not fast because you need body fat in order to be able to
But
to offset
fasting
the fasting.
is a huge part of my lifestyle because
Hmm.
it really helps
That's why you
me
don't gain a lot of weight.
to stay so focused, and like I love getting to that one meal a day. You don't even realize how much you enjoy the taste of your food, and how like it's kind of like an event when you haven't been eating and snacking
Yeah.
all day. Literally sometimes I'll eat in the middle of the day. I get so tired, and you know, because you hear me whining about it. I'm like, I shouldn't have ate that sandwich, but that chickpea tuna salad was good, and then those tacos, see leftover our plant-based taco meat, and I just couldn't help myself a couple times. But it like ruins me, and I'm like, I should have stayed on my intermittent fast. But I don't usually
Yeah.
have to try. But sometimes I let my body make the decision, which we
Yeah.
should do. And the fact that you started feeling motivated, you said after I know there's a process you go through. I think day 3 is like a detox, if I'm not mistaken, where you
Yeah.
start to maybe day 1 and 2 you're all energetic. Number 3, I remember you were like, "Should I stop?"
Technically, day 2 is the hardest. Day 1,
Okay,
you're all spiced up on adrenaline. And day 2, you start sinking in, okay, I haven't eaten for 24 hours. I'm
right.
hungry, and it's like, okay, and then day 3 is the absolute worst. And for different people, it's different. But yeah, day 2 and 3 are the hardest. After that, though,
It goes
you
into
start
overdrive.
coasting. Yeah, you
Yeah,
start coasting.
coasting.
You're growling, the hunger pain, the hunger hormone dissipates. You don't get the growling of the stomach. You're not feeling lethargic or weak or anything. In fact, you have a ton of energy and
That's
you're
what
clear.
people go through, like, in a lot of phases. Like, if you think about me just fasting throughout a day, in that little span of time, the journey is probably the same. I'm great in the morning. I don't want to eat. I do moringa, then I'll have some, plain coffee
Yeah.
and or green tea or whatever. And then if you go into, how it gets, everybody gets that around like, that almost mid-afternoon, like, "Grrr," like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I'm getting hungry, but my stomach doesn't growl because I've been doing it. So it's probably the same for you, just on a longer time. Like, and then I go into, like you said, coasting mode. If I can get past that little hunger, that lunchtime thing,
You gotta ignore
I'm
it.
good. But it
Gotta
makes you
ignore it.
you have to actually feel and embrace the actual energy that it's giving you, and not the hunger. You know what I mean? I think is what
Yeah.
it is.
You got to embrace what's happening to you, because what's happening is your body is going through a cleansing and healing process. If you've got anything that's wrong with you, when you fast, you give your body something to do other than digest food. And the body automatically goes to fix and repair mode. And what you do, what you're living off of at that point, is your body fat. And because you're living off of body fat, your brain is working off of ketones instead of glucose. So your body, after about 2 or 3 days, it's burned all the glycogen in the liver. It's burned off all the glucose and sugar. Sugar is glucose. It's burned all of that out. And now it's looking for a different food source. And when you do this, you retrain and remind your body, hey, fat is, you remember those fat stores? That fat is stored in the body for future use. That's why cavemen were able to go days on end and not eat, because when they ate, the body would put it away. It's starvation mode. The body puts food away and stores it so that if you're in a situation where you cannot eat for days, it can pull that from your fat stores. Well, if you go extended beyond that, you go into a fasted state, your body starts regulating that and then just burning so much on a regular basis, and it keeps you sustained, if you will. And people all over the world are doing this now and having amazing success and coming off of all kinds of medications. People are intermittent fasting, which means you're eating for a certain window and then you're feeding. You have a fasting window and a feeding window. And that's what Jen does. She went into, when she first became vegan, she went into an intermittent fasting regimen. She didn't do that on purpose, but she ended up doing it on purpose when she realized, hey, I feel good as hell and I'm losing a bunch of weight and I feel really good. but she wouldn't eat all day long. And then at night, she would fix this huge salad and eat that. And I would eat throughout the day on and off, but I would also have this salad with her at night, because I decided to try to become vegetarian, and she took it to a whole nother level and we went vegan. She went vegan first. And, this is crazy because this happened after I fasted for 20 days. And she didn't do that. She was like, I can't do that fasting stuff. And then I remember this was in like February. I remember us going to Baltimore for Christmas and you having an issue with your stomach. And you had started having it on and off for like a couple months, and we didn't know what was going on. It was starting to get a little
That was before
scary.
I went vegan.
Yeah, I know. I'm leading into it. And this is, we were starting to get a little worried. You know what I mean? So I said, okay, you need to start drinking moringa. So she started doing that with me. Well, she kind of came out of whatever she was going through. And then to back it up, she said, okay, you're talking about being a vegetarian. Yeah, let's look into that, because she didn't want that happening again, I guess. And lo and behold, we watched what? Woody Harrelson
Yep,
on
Raw
on
Food Healing Mastery,
Raw
I think. Or no, not Mastery, that's the other guy, but Raw Food Healing, I think was the name of it.
was the name of the movie, and we can find that and put it in
Changed
here.
me forever.
Yeah, and we both decided we were going to go plant-based, just eat salads. Well, I lasted for a couple of weeks, but Jen took it and kept going with it, and to this day has not veered off of it. So I'm so proud of you because
Hey,
you,
I'm proud of you because you've made some major changes, being that you weren't doing this in the beginning when I was doing it, and literally you haven't. I think it's been how long now since you've had any meat at all? I know there's been a couple of dairy errors, we'll call it.
when was that? 19, I think it was when COVID happened. It was 1990. It was
So 20.
2019, no, 2020. Yeah. It was
Cool.
right around February, March of 2020 is when I
Yep.
stopped eating meat.
That is awesome. And I think what's important is if you want to do something to, like, if you go on this fasting journey with Dawn and, look into it, or you go into it and you do the 20 days, or you do a week, or you do intermittent fasting like I'm doing, and you start to see your changes, or your more energy, or you want to do intermittent then go into the long one. Whatever the case is, when you come off of that, it's not a diet, it's definitely something
So
that you have to
lifestyle.
continue, because if you go back to just eating the regular stuff that you've been eating and doing the regular things, that's not going to keep you off your medicine to do a 20-day fast. You have to also, I think it's important to come into it doing the research that you need to keep yourself healthy, because you
Yeah.
can do extended fasts, but you're not going to fast forever. That's just probably unrealistic.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't
Even
make
even
it.
Angus stopped after a year, but that's an
Right.
extremely long time to go a whole year and a
That's
month
crazy.
without eating anything. And
But that
he went
proves it's
from 476 pounds down to I think 185, no, 175 pounds
you
in
know
that time. And then he ended up, when he died, he ended up getting back into the 190 range, but he never went past that.
always, like, also you have to research stuff, because the
Yeah.
myths are out there so much, like you shouldn't go any more than an hour without eating, or you have to eat 25 meals a day, or you have to do this, you have to
You're
do
going to
that, you
go into
shouldn't.
you're going to go
What
into
do
a
you
dangerous
mean?
ketosis, and
You
it's like,
don't eat
okay.
meat, how are you going to get your protein? Like, all these things that come out, and it's like, if look up people that have real stories like we do, that
Protein
have
is
done what.
sourced from plants.
Yes, and like she said before, we're not doctors, we're just telling our story,
Yeah.
and what works for us, and you need to do your own research. If you're on medications, the
Yeah.
doctor should take you off of them, because
The
if you
doctor
get
should
too
be a part
healthy,
of that.
your medicine's going to be too much. Like,
I'm
it
not
might.
on medication.
I'm on
So
a.
it was easy for me to just jump into it because I wouldn't have any issues with medication. I don't know if I should be on some type of medication, but I've never
Hey,
been on any type of medication, and I haven't needed anything.
what people realize, that might do this fasting, like Dr. Fung said, the extended fasting that he puts people on, and then like you talk about, and then people even that have gone plant based, since we've dabbled into that. Like sometimes your medicine is put there to lower your blood pressure. This is why it's important to come off slowly, because if you're already doing it now by your diet, think about that. You don't need the medication. In most 99% of cases, you're going to come off your medication. But like if you're getting medication to lower your blood pressure and you're doing it naturally, then you want to make sure, okay, I don't want to do both at the same time. It's going to go too low because they're
Right,
regulating it. They're not fixing the
right,
problem. Fasting
right.
is clearing you out.
Fasting is actually treating the actual root cause of the issue and not just treating the symptoms. When you fast, you allow your body to clean itself out. And weight loss is just a side effect of all that is actually going on. Like it's really helping your body to upregulate and strengthens your immune system. And it's so crazy because people have come off of metformin, all those types of diabetic drugs that people are on. He has pulled people off of them. And if this is, sounds drastic, then so be it, because I'm tired of not being able to see clearly. So, I'm tired of hearing myself say it. So I weighed in today, right? And I'm not making it about the weight loss, but since it's going to be a benefit, I figured I would track it. So we are in day one. The last thing I ate, what time did we finish eating last night, honey? Do you know?
Probably
Probably
about 11.
about 11. Yeah, about 11 o'clock. So I like to, when I do start fasts, I like to start them at 12 midnight, meaning I won't eat anything past 12 midnight because that's what? A new day. That's when the new day starts. I want to be able to say I fasted for a full day and the day starts at 12 midnight. So
193, folks. You saw it here first.
193 day one is what I have weighed in at. Okay. And I just did this right before the stream, completely butt naked. I took all my clothes off, everything. And
Oh
and
my.
and I hadn't had I haven't had anything to eat, and I'm weighing in at 193 on day one. And we are going to I'm gonna do this weekly. I'm not gonna do it daily because you're not gonna see a whole lot of change day from day to
That's a
day.
good advice too. If you're doing some type of whether it's intermittent or extended fasting, or even if you've started eating healthy, that is something I've realized. Do not look at that scale every day, because
Yeah,
that will frustrate you, because your weight is not the ultimate goal. When you get to the root cause and you start putting good stuff in your body or putting nothing in your body, depending on where you are in your journey, you're going to find that it's the weight will get there, but you don't want to like it's
you
you
don't want
might
to
go
make it
up a
about the
pound
weight
because
loss.
it's not really the weight
Or
loss.
you can if that's what your journey is, then this is an excellent way to do it. And
I
not to
would just
mention not to mention
exactly
a fast way to do it. Fasting fast,
fast.
right?
Ah,
It's an extremely fast way to lose weight. But yeah, you can use this to lose weight. People who are A-listers who want to lose weight for the red carpet do this all the time. I heard that Channing Tatum was on a strict fasting regimen when he was trying to get his abs to a certain condition for the Magic Mike movies. So, it was grueling, but he did it because he was also working out. And I'm also going to continue to work out. Now, that's another thing. When you work out, know that you are going to expend a lot of energy doing that. And it's very hard to maintain a extended fast and also work out, but you can do it. You just have to, make sure you stay hydrated during the whole process, and, take your time. I mean, I don't work out for 5 hours. I work out for 2 hours. And part of that is yoga. My workout where I do weight training, strength training, and then cardio. The strength training is an hour, and the cardio is a half an hour. So I'm at an hour and a half of strenuous activity, and then for the next half an hour, I'm doing yoga just to kind of stretch out my muscles and to come down off of the adrenaline and get into a peaceful state to go into my day. So now I've had my endorphins. I've had my let's get it. I've had my motivation. Now I'm on an even keel going into the day, and then it's shower time and stream time. And I'm telling you that together, coupled with fasting and drinking a gallon of water a day, 8 of these a day is a gallon of water. Go get a 40 pack from Walmart. It's only $6. You know,
I
that'll last
wanted
you a
to
couple days.
mention something too. I saw on an intermittent fasting site, there was a lady that posted, she was like, I have a question because I'm not interested in a diet. Is it when you're intermittent fasting, I'm feeling like this is a diet where people lose weight? Well, it's not. If you're doing intermittent fasting and you get the right amount of carbs and nutrients for your body to maintain your body weight, you won't continue to lose weight. Now, on an extended fast, would you agree that you are going to lose weight? Like if she would go on an extended fast.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's inevitable.
But you don't have to, like if you're doing intermittent fasting, it will matter what you're actually putting back in when you're feeding in that one meal a day or whatever it is after
Dude,
your
there are people
extended
that
fast.
have gone on OMAD, which is the acronym for one meal a day, who have eaten all kinds of junk food and everything and still managed to lose a ton of weight doing intermittent fasting. They fast literally all day long. They've got like, there was one girl I saw, she would have dessert and all of that and eat a ton of food in this like 1.5 hour to 2 hour fasting window.
Which we're
But
not
she would,
recommending, by the way.
no,
The
I'm not,
junk
definitely
food.
not recommending. She would fast for 22
That's so
hours
unhealthy.
and then for 2 hours she would have, she would have some meat, she'd have some sandwiches, she'd have some chips, maybe some ice cream. And it's like, she did this, but she fasted for 22 hours of the day, and she had some healthy stuff in there. She had some salad in there. So I mean, she didn't just sit and gorge on pizza or nothing, but it's she's lost a ton of
Well,
weight
maybe
doing that.
that's what she heard because I don't know. I guess everybody's body's different. I don't continue to lose
Everybody's body
weight.
is different, and that's an important fact here. Everybody's not going to be able to just jump into it and do 14 days of fasting. I found that I was able to do it. So, but most people can, and they don't realize it. They just don't give it a shot. Why? That's one of the things Fung says in his video. Why dismiss one of the most powerful healing tools that the body has? How do you think the body heals itself? One of the ways, and the best way to do that, is to get into a fasting regimen.
Remember that old starve a cold, what is it? Feed a cold, starve a fever?
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
like people would say, but starve the fever because you're getting rid of the infection. Usually
Yeah.
fever is caused by an infection. That's why when you
And
get
you will
corona.
detox. You
Yes.
will have a period of detoxing where you will feel like pure D crap.
It's
And
like you got to get over that, right?
yeah, you'll be sweating. And think about it, your body is now, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's in there working and boom, 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 hammering and nailing and cleaning this and clean, and it's detoxing. It is getting rid of all the bad stuff, all the toxins. That's what detoxing means. It's getting rid of all the toxins that you have put in your body for years on end. So yeah, that's not going to feel good. Okay, that's not going to feel like a day in the park. So yeah, expect that you're going to be going through some physical changes as well as mental changes from doing this. You may feel depressed. You may go through something, but the thing is to stick it out. Stick it
Mhm.
out. Because on the other side of that rainbow is the pot of gold. Okay. Once you're in a state where you are coasting, you can go for days on end, and your body is going to love you, and you are going to feel like a completely different person. And again, I will reiterate, if you have existing conditions and are on any type of medications, please consult your doctor before attempting to do this. And a lot of doctors will tell, oh, that's bullshit. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Do your own research though.
Do your own
And
research.
find the right
Don't
doctor.
Right. Don't take the doctor's word that no, that's not for you off the top. Get a second opinion. Okay. Look, go on YouTube. There is a ton. Everybody's learning everything from YouTube. This is where I got it. There's a ton of stuff on YouTube. I'm going to put Fung's video in there, but do the research. Look up fasting on YouTube, intermittent, and you'll hear how many people think about it.
you
There are
know,
people who have been sick who have medicines who have come off of them with fasting. So it is possible to be sick and use this as a tool.
I remember when I first started intermittent fasting, I thought I had to put
Yeah.
mittens on, and I was intermittents. No, that's not right. Just
Trying
a
to get
little
me to spit
joke
my
for
water
our
out.
Wednesday. I didn't know you're gonna take a drink. I wouldn't have done it. You've heard that joke a million times, though. I remember I was like, "Oh, I thought intermittent fasting was women putting mittens on." But that is definitely some good advice, and I really am thankful that you had me on here to tell you because I'm just proud of your journey, and we
Thank you,
love
baby.
this
And I'm proud of
show.
you too, Jen. I mean, people can laugh, but if you go back and look at our wedding pictures, we were both pretty hefty. And I've got a lot of muscle, so I'm kind of cut. And it's hard to tell that I'm the weight that I am because it's very evenly distributed and I have a lot of muscle. So, and that's another thing I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that look. And it's hard to do it in your 50s to get a cut, but because your skin gets saggy and it's hard to
But
lose
that's
weight. But
why
I'm,
it's
I'm
also
determined that I'm
important
going
to
to get
do
that
it
body.
not like you're going to continue to probably work out and tone through it. That's important, I think, too, if you're
Exactly.
losing a lot of
Exactly.
weight. And like do it naturally, like even like you said, once you've lost what you want to, and if you come off of that and you start eating, even if you go from your extended fast to, let's say, one meal a day fast or something like that, you putting the right stuff in your body will make you lose weight then slowly. If you eat the
It'll
right
help you
amount,
keep it
it'll keep
off.
you stable where you are and help you keep it off, and it will not give you like this huge, hey, I just ate cabbage water for 14 days and now I'm really skinny, but now I'm going to go back and then it goes up because a lot of people go up and
Right.
down when we talk about weight loss. So,
Right. You
but
have to make it a lifestyle.
yeah, if
You have
you
to
do
buy
this
into the
fast,
lifestyle.
you get down to where you want to get to, don't stop there. Like you said, don't think, oh, it's done, because and then you mentioned yesterday about motivation and doing what's uncomfortable. Like when you're on that day 3 or whatever, you have to start thinking about the motivation. If you're doing a new diet or a new lifestyle or a fast or whatever it is, like Dawn said, there's going to be one where you're going to feel uncomfortable about it, but you have to then start motivating yourself as to what is my end goal.
Get
You know what I mean?
comfortable with being uncomfortable. Motivational speakers say that is a phrase that you get comfortable with being uncomfortable because that's how you grow.
'Cause it's going to feel so good when you reach your goal, and it only adds guilt when you don't continue. Like I know from when you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't, it's like self-torture when you do that, and you'll feel
Right.
so good when you just get past that little point of where I don't know if I want to do this. You'll start giving yourself excuses. Maybe they're right. Maybe I do need to eat. Maybe I do need to put some meat or whatever it is that you're trying to
Yeah.
do. Maybe I do. Maybe I'm working out. Maybe I shouldn't walk too much. Whatever it is, maybe I shouldn't fast. And you start looking up information for that. Always look up, this is what I do, health benefits of blank. And like if you're going to do this fast, look up health benefits of fasting.
And you'll get a
Obviously,
ton of information
there's
on
going to be a
YouTube from
bunch of
that.
food companies that pay a lot of money to put out ads out there, and always look at who did the article, because if you see something
Guess
that tells
what?
you not to do
Dude, there's a
plant-based or not
lot
fast.
of companies that pay a lot of money to keep this stuff quiet.
Exactly. And there's not enough
Okay?
people that pay enough money to put this stuff out there. That's why we're doing
Yeah.
these streams and different things, like you're doing this one to help people to kind of stay motivated, cuz I mean, think about all the medications that are out there even for depression and
Yeah.
allergies, anxiety, everything that you can even imagine. There's somebody out there that's rooting for you, and then there's somebody out there that's saying, I want to keep you here
That's
so that I
hating
can
on
make
you.
money off of you. And
Yeah.
it's just the way of the world, so you have to do
Yeah.
your own research and find your own way out, and hopefully Dawn and
Yeah.
can help with this channel. I love the messages you put out. Thanks for motivating us every midday
Thank
and
you, honey.
allowing me to come on here, and thank you for inputting your fasting information on our Mondays, Meatless Monday stream that I do, because it's
Thank you.
important to have both of those, inputs. And
Yeah.
And so thanks for taking care of our mind, body, and soul for us. We
Oh,
look
thank
forward
you,
to this
honey.
every midday. I know there's probably people in the chat thinking the same thing, like, yes, you're like the pump up the volume guy. Please don't go anywhere. We need you to come on here every day. Don't
Oh,
change the
I'm
time.
gonna be here every day. Every day I'm gonna be here. The universe willing.
Yes.
But another cool thing about fasting is it releases endorphins. Okay, it releases endorphins and dopamine, serotonin, all the good hormones that you need, and all of the good factors that you need
For your mind.
to basically feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I focus on is mind control, mind, mindset. And that's the thing. Jen focuses a lot on body, and I focus on mind.
But
I'm
they're all
so fascinated.
interconnected,
Yeah,
like you just said.
I'm fascinated with the
Hmm.
human mind. Like The Matrix, that is one of my most favorite movies. Why? Because it deals with control, and it deals with focus, and it deals with you being able to manifest what it is that you want to manifest based on your thoughts and your will. You know what I mean?
I see why
So,
you connected with me because that was like coming out of school. I remember that was the only thing that interested me was the mind. You know,
mhm,
this is way before the health. I mean, I've always been interested in the health stuff, but I thought the
yeah,
mind was so interesting. That's why I studied that in school too, psychology. But you are like a natural, living, breathing like person who's been through things and can give us
I did pay
advice.
her to say all this, folks. Go
That
ahead,
is
keep going. I
why
think I
it's so
paid for it a
important. You're
little bit
not
more.
somebody that read this stuff in a book. You've
I
actually
live it.
lived a lot
I
of it
live
and
it.
live it. So that's what's so
Being
cool
a
about it.
cancer survivor,
And
it helps that I went through a lot of this physically and mentally. The PTSD, this is another reason I'm doing that. In order to fight PTSD, you've got to strengthen your mind. Your mind is a muscle, just like anything else that you would work out in the gym. So you've got to have mental stamina and mental toughness. And fasting is a way to develop that
that's
muscle.
why a lot of religions actually use that as part of their as their discipline and part of that too. And a lot of people use it for energy focus, but it actually, like she said, the like I'm excited that you brought like that up about something physical that you're doing is going to be able to put those chemicals in your brain to actually help
Mhm.
with the other stuff that you're talking about, you know,
Right.
because I watch her with this energy. I thought by like when she did the fast before, I figured by like day 5, I'd be like, "Hey, Dawn, wake up! You didn't have no food, so you're probably going to be sleeping in." No,
Right.
I mean she's up, talking and yelling and wanting to do all this stuff, running around and like doing 100 things, and I'm like, "Wow, okay, you got
When
more
I do a lot
energy."
of fasting, I tend to only need about 4 or 5 hours, if that sometimes,
And you
and
can
I'll be going.
really be more like I'm like during the day, I'm way more energetic and creative and feel in a better mood, honestly, when I do not continue to eat every day. And it's hard because if you're somebody who already knows your body says, I eat breakfast and I eat lunch at this time and I eat dinner. Our
Mhm.
bodies form habits just like our mind does. You talked
Mhm.
about that, how many times it takes. You've got to let your body know, okay, we're not doing this right now. Here, we're going to do it this way. And then your body eventually conforms and it will
Mhm.
feel better.
Mhm.
At first, it's not going to, though, like she said. You're now that you've done it before, the cool thing is you have something that you can focus on, like remembering how you felt day 15,
Right.
so you're going
Right.
to have that motivation better than the first time because the first time you did it, you probably didn't know what to expect.
Right. Well, I kind of knew because I had done it a long time ago, but not like
But that
I
was
was
very
doing it then.
unhealthy. When I heard you talking about putting that cream in that coffee and oh my goodness, and only drinking coffee, I was like, I was on the chat like, that's what the problem was.
Mhm.
You were drinking only coffee. Oh my goodness. At least now you have healthier moringa, and
Right.
you're still gonna do the moringa,
Of course.
obviously,
So
right?
that would make it not a true fast, but I don't care because
That's true to me.
I'm not eating whole foods. I'm not putting solid
Yeah.
foods in my body,
A
My body
liquid is
doesn't.
not a food for me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
my body does not have to digest food. When the body has to digest food, that takes energy, it takes time, and your body has to divert from the things that it should be doing, like making sure that every organ is working properly, like, making sure that everything is okay with your immune system. This also upregulates your immune system. So if you're dealing with, issues with your if you have disorder, autoimmune disease, this can help with that as well. And
It will
my thing
probably
is,
reduce inflammation for
yeah, it
arthritis type
does.
things
It
and
does. It
for
does.
joint pain and different things like that. I mean,
Yeah. So,
diabetes, type 2 diabetes
type
that's
2
what Dr.
diabetes
Fung
is the
said.
main thing that it cures. You know what I mean? And that's what Fung specializes in, is helping people. He's a nephrologist.
Because you're
So he's a
clearing the
kidney
drains.
specialist. Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, you're basically unclogging all the things that you've done to your diet and from your diet. And
Yep.
I just, it's very fascinating. And I've been like, I'm not saying I was all for it at first. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
most people aren't.
You're
Most
going to
people don't
fast
understand it.
for
Yeah.
what? How long? And obviously I'm worried too because I'm like, I've heard the myths the whole time. This was the first time.
You're
Now
gonna lose
I'm not.
muscle and all of that. No, you're
It,
not gonna. You
people
lose
have
a bit. You lose a
some.
bit of amino acids, but you don't lose muscle. And especially if you're working out, you're gonna continue to build muscle. Muscle and fat are two different things. You
Hmm.
can't lose like muscle. You can. It can get. You can lose amino acids, which and protein, which are part of that. Are part of that system, but you're not physically losing your muscles. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you're just going to be like this. You can do things to offset the protein loss. You can work out. You can build muscle quicker by doing this because you're getting rid of the fat. And muscle helps burn fat. So if you work out and you do some strength training and build your muscles up, that actually will help you burn fat faster.
Definitely. That's such fascinating information that you've done so much research to become pretty much an expert on the entire science behind it because that's what I need to be involved. Like I have to know why of everything and I'm a big
Yeah,
component. If you're going to tell somebody to do something, you also have to tell them why. And
right.
like when you say something about when I heard fasting and when I looked into it and saw the science behind it, it's like logical for me. If I understand why that's happening, oh, okay, because you're not putting anything in those cells that need. This is where when you do start eating, the sugar now has a place to go. That makes more sense to me than saying, oh, if you don't eat, it's going to heal you. I need to know why, and there's always a why when it comes to anything that has to do with fasting or like intermittent fasting, plant based, whatever you're looking into. When you look up those health benefits, you can also research here's in your body what's happening and why this is working,
Hmm.
and that to me is like so important to know so that you're doing the right thing and you know why you're doing it.
Right, right. Yep. So, like I said, I have started at 193.
Woohoo! We can't wait to see your journey.
So, I'm trying to figure out where I want to end this thing at. What weight I want to go to. And I'm thinking I'd like to reverse that. Damn, that just came to me looking at it. I was
Would it
thinking
be 391?
139. I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking 139, but looking at it and seeing 193, I'm like, holy shit, I was just thinking 139. And that would be reversing the numbers in what I weighed now. So that's a sign from the universe to me that
And my grandmother used to
that's my
say she was
number.
39, like no matter how old she was. So that's a cool number.
Right. So I'm
39 for
like,
life.
so yeah, I'm like, dude, that's my goal. Now I'm gonna try to set this out for, because I want to do this in a healthy way. Now, if I'm gonna lose, sometimes I'm gonna lose a little bit more. Sometimes I'm not gonna lose at all. So what I'm gonna do, there was a guy who also set this goal where he decided to just go for 5 pounds every 2 weeks. and 10 pounds a month. And some people may say, well, that's not really a lot of progress. You know what I mean? But it is. Consistency is what is the point here. Consistency is the key. So I'm not so much worried about how much weight I'm losing as just staying consistent. Remember, I talked about this yesterday, creating a habit. And it's not what I'm actually doing, it's the habit of doing it. I just want to install that habit and install that discipline, because once I do that, I can begin to apply that to other areas of my life, you know. So, and then once I see success in doing that, so I like the fact that he set a low goal so that it's something that's obtainable. And once you do that for a couple months straight, well, guess what? You're still going to get to 6 months away, but are you going to do it at the same weight, or are you going to, I'll take 10 pounds a month, because hell, it's progress. You know what I
That's pretty
mean?
much what I did. I
It's
think in 6
progress.
months I lost 55 pounds when I went
That's
plant-based.
awesome.
So that was
That's
like
amazing.
basically 10 pounds a month. That wasn't, I was still, and I wanted to make more, add more weight on after that. I actually went down too far. So, but that still felt healthy for me. It wasn't like, obviously people who didn't see me every day saw like, whoa, what happened to you? But pretty much over time, you weren't seeing it like that, seeing me every day, that it looked like I was dropping too much, but then when you look at like a before and after, you can see it. But I think that's an important thing to lose it, like you said, to do healthy. And I know that's not your whole motivation to lose weight is to get healthier, but that's going to be a huge bonus coming along with it. At least that's, like you said, what happened to you last time. You said something when you said install. It reminded me like our brains are like computers. We have to install and update. Like we need to change their mind.
Right,
I forget what you just
right.
said a few minutes ago. I was like thinking of it, but I didn't want to interrupt. And I was like, oh wow, Dawn is installing a new update in her brain.
Pretty much. There's a meditation that Doxy does where one of the things that he says is, I'm renewing my body and I'm renewing my mind. And that's exactly what I feel like I am. And my name is Dawn. So that's new beginnings. That's process of renewal. It's a new day. It's when the day starts all over again. So, you know, my dad knew what he was doing, because I'm constantly looking for ways to reinvent myself and renew my mind and my body. So fasting is one of the best ways that I've learned to do it. So I hope you guys continue on this journey with me, and I will keep you posted every day. And the cool thing is, I'm doing these streams, so every day I get to update you guys, not on the weekends, but we'll come in and we'll, this will pretty much be a vlog. This stream will turn into a vlog for the next 25, well, the next month, um, about this journey. And I'll keep people posted on how I'm feeling, what I'm going through. If I'm in a detox state, you know what I mean? I might, be looking like this, but, and that's another thing, when you go through those detoxing moments, if you decide to try something like this, make sure that you don't let it deter you or make you give up, because you don't want to. There's a story that we always talk about from Think and Grow Rich, 3 feet from gold, and Jen and I always reference this.
Yeah.
And it was about this miner who decided to go out west, and he wanted to invest in oil, so he bought himself an oil rig and all of that, and they were digging and digging and digging and digging, and he didn't come up with any oil. So he got, he got some he was a prospector. He got some second information and a second opinion. And the guy's like, yeah, or no, he didn't. But he kept digging and did not strike oil. So he ended up selling all of his equipment. He sold the land that he had bought and said, oh, you know what? The hell with it. Well, the person that he sold it to ended up going and getting a second opinion and found out that the first guy had stopped 3 feet from where the oil was. Um, or wait a minute, was it oil? Yeah, 3 feet from gold is what they call the story. But they struck oil 3 feet from where the guy stopped. I never want to stop 3 feet from gold. So don't you do that. If you're doing it and you feel like, it's now, don't get me wrong. If you feel like you're getting sick, maybe consult the doctor and maybe take a break from it for a little bit and then pick it back up. Like maybe you can find that you're good at doing 5 days or 6 days or 7 or like a week. Start with a week. Start with 24 hours and see how you feel. Now, don't forget I told you that 2-3 days in is the hardest time. So don't think because you got 24 under your belt, hey, this is done. You got some stuff coming. So, I always say 5 days. If you can make it 5 days, you've passed the initiation period. You're into the point where the ghrelin is dissipating. If you can get 5 days in, you can do a week. And if you can do 1 week, you can do 2 weeks. If you can do 2 weeks, you can do a month. So it's just getting started, start from right where you are. And some people will recommend that you go down slowly, like go through a period where where you slow down your eating and wean yourself off of food. Me personally, I don't eat that much throughout the day anyway. So it's easy for me to just jump in. That's what I did the first time. But if you're eating 3 meals or if you're eating a lot, you might want to you can jump into it, but it's safer if you just begin to wean yourself off of food slowly and give yourself about a week of doing that to where you're down to 1 meal a day and then make that meal smaller and smaller. And after about a week, you'll be ready. And also the reverse is true when you're ready to stop fasting. And trust me, your body will let you know when it's had enough. You can start the refeeding process and start with something small. Like Barberi, when he broke his fast, he broke it with a couple of pieces of toast and a boiled egg. So he didn't jump into like a steak dinner or anything
Beep,
like
beep,
that
beep.
because you
Vegan in the
can't.
house. Don't do a boiled egg.
Yeah, because you can't do it. You can't jump into it right from fasting so long because you'll end up hurting your body. So yeah, if the body, think about it, the body it's like not running, and then all of a sudden trying to run the Boston Marathon or something, without training. So if the body has not been digesting food all this time, it's not. Hey, whoa, what is this? So when I go back into it, I'm probably just going to make myself some guacamole, which my body at that point is going to be used to burning fat for fuel, and I want to keep it on that trajectory. So I'm probably going to start in with something soft that it doesn't have. Don't start in with roughage. Don't, I'm going to eat a salad. That's how, yeah, but it's roughage. And your body to have to digest that after not digesting food for a long period of time, you're not going to have an easy time. You're going to have a big stomach ache and probably be constipated and all of that. So be careful with it. So if I start in with some guac, it's soft and it's fat, it's healthy fat. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with that. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead because I need to start creating some content, and I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Jen, you have any last closing statements?
Let's see. I just want to say thank you for doing these streams, and we look
You're
forward to
welcome.
your journey. And thank you everybody who came, share this video,
Please like
and
and share this video. We are currently holding steady at 578 subscribers. And that's something, it's almost like the weight loss journey. It goes up, it goes down. We were at one point at 582, I think, last week. And I think we were at 580 before that. Then it went down to like 177. Then it went back up to 580. Now it's down at 5. Then it went to 582. Now it's down to 578. So, it's a
that's
process.
perfect analogy to my thing. Don't look every minute,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But here's the thing: you can look, but don't let it move you.
Don't
Don't
let it
get
discourage
frustrated
you,
by it.
right? Yeah, I'm still working
Don't.
on that. Remember, you're working with me on the being able to ignore the matrix of the shield. So I'm just not going to
Right.
look. No, I'm just kidding. But everything that can, it kind of ties into one with what you talk about, which is what I love about it. So, and then also make a comment on the video and let her know if you're interested in fasting or if you've tried it before,
And
or
I
if
would love to help you through it, help you
if
through
you
the
need some
process.
help, and if you're interested in saying where you are in your journey if you started the fast already, and keep us posted too. Keep us posted on that, and if you're trying to eat healthier, or if you decided to try the intermittent fast and just take away 2 meals or whatever. Everybody's journey is so important, and we're always excited to hear about it. I know I am. I read the comments.
But yeah, man,
And I love
it's
that you reply to your comments, like
I
I always,
do.
even when I comment, you reply to me, which is cool because, you could just yell over, but you
Yeah.
definitely, I like seeing it on in writing.
I appreciate people taking the time to watch my videos and make comments, So I
Definitely.
love the interaction. And, I appreciate the 578 subscribers who have stuck with me, and we are building. We are going to that 1K, and we are going above and beyond for there. Maybe I should change it to 3K, because then we'll surpass the 1K. Maybe I'm doing it all
Let's
wrong.
do it.
I need to overshoot the goal. I'm gonna change that sign and say, hey, we're going for 2,500, and then the 1K will be got within that.
I tell you
Shoot, when
what,
you want the stars, when you want try to reach the moon, shoot for the stars, right?
you keep putting out these good messages, that's going to come naturally. I'm telling you, you've helped me so much, and I think everybody here. So it's you're getting to the root cause of it, and the subscribers definitely are going to come because we're all going to like and share your stuff, and use it in our daily life, and it's just going to come naturally. I do feel that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on here, honey. I appreciate you
Thanks for letting me come on.
so
I
much.
wasn't even gonna stay this long, but I just kind of got into the conversation. I was gonna come on for a few minutes and leave, but I'm like, oh, cool. I have sound. I love talking to you. Thanks for letting me come on, and I'll let you finish it out.
All right, baby. Thanks for letting me finish out my own stream. I appreciate that.
You know what I mean. I'm gonna drop off, so don't don't think
have
I'm leaving. What do you call it? Unexpectedly.
have a fantastic rest of your work day. Don't let people over there drive you crazy.
Never do.
I love
I
you
love
so
work.
much.
All right. See ya.
See you, baby. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end out as well. Thank you again, all the 578 subscribers that have come on here and subscribed. I appreciate you guys so much. And again, this is 25 days of fasting. We are in day 1, and we have weighed in officially at 193 pounds at day 1. And we are going to continue this journey on up through November 19th. So we're going to call November No Food November. We're going to hit November 19th. And the goal, I'm not trying to get to 139 pounds by November 19th. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to try to do just lose 10 pounds a month. Try to pace myself with it. But we are definitely going to probably lose a lot of water weight in that time. So I probably will finish out November probably in the 180s, 170s somewhere, which will be cool. That'll be a huge step towards the goal. I'll pretty much be halfway there. So, but yeah, I appreciate Jen so much for coming on here and giving her input, because she's my inspiration. When I saw her do that and go vegan and do the intermittent fasting, and I thought, if she can do it, I can do it. So I appreciate her so much for coming on here and being my inspiration. And if we've inspired you, again, like she said, leave me a comment. If you want to try this, you can also DM me over on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram as well. That's JJ Video and the number 9. And just get in my DMs and talk to me about your journey and what it is you're hoping to accomplish. And if I can in any way be a part of your journey and help you in that, whether it be some type of mental coaching for this, hey, that's why I'm here. Okay. So guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you all. Peace and blessings.